Hey folks, welcome back. I'm your host, RR Slugger, and I'm as surprised as you are to be here again. So, really quickly, for anyone out of the loop, this is essentially part 3 of an impromptu trilogy of videos on my channel dating all the way back to the summer of 2024. That summer, I created a video talking about set 1875 Meteor Monitor, analyzing its unique place in the Blacktron lineage. After making that video, LEGO designer Bjarne Pandul Twiskau posted about it on his blog site, sharing a related prototype image of a LEGO series that never got off the ground, nicknamed Blacktron. This prompted me to create another video the following summer, exploring the topic further and examining this prototype model. I thought the story would end there, but apparently not. In recent months, it was brought to my attention that Bjarne's blog had received something of a stealth update. You see, a new image has been added, dramatically expanding our source material for Blacktron. This new image depicts two insanely intricate sci-fi vehicles, featuring a design language unlike any other contemporary space theme. The vehicle in the foreground appears to be a large space rover, whereas the vehicle in the background seems to be some sort of wacky space helicopter. These designs are total madness, and likely would have received significant refinement before hitting retail shelves if the theme was ever greenlit. Still, this peek behind the curtain shows us just how creative the designers at LEGO were allowed to be back then. I sincerely doubt any serious prototypes were ever this outlandish when designing for the most recent LEGO Space outing. So, what can we do with this new Blacktron material? Well, reverse engineering the models depicted here is always a great first step. We've been hard at work on this front, but there are a ton of areas where ambiguity is going to be inevitable. Providing a confident set of instructions is just not going to be possible this time around, I'm afraid. Instead, I think we should take this as an invitation to create something new. Let's look at the 3 Blacktron vehicles we know of and see if we can draw some parallels between them. Then we'll try to design something that follows these patterns. Firstly, let's take stock of our color palette. Black and white are the obvious primary colors, but both trans red and trans neon orange play significant roles as well. There are the obvious patches of rainbow coloration, and these take the form of either vertical or horizontal stripes. The colors always go blue, green, yellow, red, starting from the bottom and working our way up. These blocks of color are critical to the look of Blacktron, but we don't want to overdo it. It's just a splash of color, not a wash. There's also a small sub-assembly that pops up several times here, involving an antenna piece sticking through a headlight brick with a cone on the end. Antenna pieces were never produced in white, so we'll have to make do with what we have. Indeed, there are actually a number of non-production pieces being used here. The black octagonal dome pieces serving as landing gear is a great example. This further pushes us into the camp of creation, not recreation, as the parts needed to physically recreate these models simply aren't available. So that leads us to mock building, and I've got a couple based on the Blacktron concept that I'd like to share with you today. The first is a mid-sized starship, featuring many callbacks to details found on other Blacktron vehicles. Aside from the obvious color palette choices, I was also able to include both horizontal and vertical rainbow stripes. We've also got a pair of antenna builds that mirror those seen on the prototype models. Lastly, these flared fins are pretty much lifted directly from the Meteor Monitor prototype, including the trans-red 1x1 plates at the base of each one. It's a small, subtle detail, but I think it adds a lot to legitimize the world building by including consistencies like this. Though my mock contains several non-period parts, I think it sticks to the spirit found in the prototypes for Blacktron. Chiefly, I wanted to lean into the anything goes inventive part usage found throughout those builds. As such, I decided to combine these black Aquazone propeller housings with white LEGO Technic wheels to create the thrusters. I hadn't seen this done before, but the two elements paired rather nicely. I figured a spaceship could use several movement vectors in the vacuum of space. This black roll bar along the dorsal side of the ship was inspired by a similar element that can be found on the USS Reliant from Star Trek. I really enjoy how these pieces interact with the corrugated wings below them. Visually, the ship is pretty busy, but, well, that's Spectron. This is what it looks like when everything sticks to the wall after being thrown at it. Now, there was one thing notably absent from the prototype images we saw, and that's any form of a Spectron structure. I whipped this one up rather quickly, and even though it's small, I still quite like it. Interestingly, the vertical rainbow stripes can be perfectly centered with the octagonal window pieces beside them, simply because they're 4 plates tall. This odd quirk was something that I picked up on fairly quickly, so I just knew I had to take advantage of it here. Monorail stanchions were a common sight in LEGO space bases of yesteryear, so I wanted to make sure I included some here. If we step inside the structure, we can see a trio of wall-mounted panels. What they do is completely up to your imagination. Lastly, we need some occupants, so I made a couple of Spectron figures to flesh out the build. Additionally, we see a robot assistant in one of the images, so I recreated them here as well. This 1x1 printed tile does a great job of filling in the role of the non-production prototype from the original image. And with all that being said, that's Spectron. Though it's simply one of many prototype LEGO space themes, I feel like this one has legs in a way that some others don't. Personally, I found combining the theme motifs and anything goes mantra of the builds themselves to be quite empowering. Maybe you'll take a crack at the challenge and expand the theme further. Thanks for watching, everyone. This video was brought to you by the folks who support me during the Summer of Slug, especially those subscribed to my Only Slugs tier on Patreon. Folks like Irresponsibility, who, as of late, has been spending time producing a Minecraft role-playing series about vampires. I didn't even know that was a niche that existed, but if it sounds interesting to you, you can find them right here on YouTube. Luke the Duke 424, who has been too busy using his LEGO for D&D games to post anything online lately. Speaking of LEGO and D&D, my character unfortunately died in my last game after getting trapped in a net and drowned in a river. What a way to go. Nadiki, who recently graduated with a bachelor's in geology. They've also developed a crippling LEGO castle addiction, but I'm not sure their newly earned degree is going to help them much with that. Unless it leads to more disposable income. That sounds like a good plan. Mean Evil Witch, who would like to give a shout out to Kirby. They also tell me that RR Slugger inspired them to pursue photography as a new hobby, and I think the results are looking fantastic. You might be inspiring me to, in turn, do more outdoor stuff. 6 Bricks, who is a father-son duo rebuilding a LEGO collection consisting of a ton of 80s and 90s sets. They're also expanding their horizons into older and newer LEGO too. They're asking if anyone has any spare 1 to 87 scale town plan cars. That's some rare stuff indeed. Sand Trout, who rebuilt 30 childhood sets during the last Summer of Slug and plans to do 30 more this summer as well. Let's wish them luck, it's no easy task. Donovich, who is desperately trying to make me play Dead Space after I shared my love for System Shock 2. Besides that, I still don't have much to say about this Slavic weirdo. Maybe I'll have something to say about him next year. And lastly, Juniper, who besides being a skilled graphic designer, is also one of the best in the business when it comes to reverse engineering LEGO builds. I'm immensely thankful for her ongoing support for the channel, and I'm sure we'll see more of it before the summer is out. These folks, and many more, deserve our thanks for making the Summer of Slug a reality. If you'd like to pitch in and show your support, the links are in the video description. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and I'll see you next time for another video.